Hi, I'm Kristen Nelson.
And I'm Stacy Kupfer.
And if you're going to consign at the LA Kids Consignment sale or SCV Kids Consignment sale, we're going to give you some tips to make it easier.
So Kristen, can you explain to me what you mean about marking your hangers and tags and show me some examples of that?
Sure. At the end of the sale, when you come back to pick up your items that didn't sell, it'll be much easier and faster if you've marked your hangers and your tags. So I'm going to give you some examples of what you could do. So on this hanger, we attach some colorful beads. This one we use some colored tape so that you can find them quickly when it's hanging on the rack. You can use, any kind of tape that you can find. There's amazing duct tape out there right now. Or you can do something simple as just put some curling ribbon or use some colorful yarn. Get creative, and whatever you would like to use, just put it on your hangers and it'll make it so much easier to find at the end of the sale. Also, when you're looking for your non-hanging items, it makes it easier if you get creative on your tags. So figure out whatever you want to do. Get as creative as you want. I've used highlighter, I've used an initial, I've used stickers, you can use stamps. Whatever you want to do to your tags will make it much easier to find your items at the end of the sale.
And do you suggest that we do all those, or is the idea to pick one pattern and make it be the same?
Pick one pattern and make it your own.
Great.
Stacy, tell me, how do I tag my clothes?
First thing you need is your tagging gun. Take the little cap off. And you're going to attach your tag with your tagging gun onto your clothing. The best place is either the little tag at the top, right here, or if there's no tag, like this one doesn't have a tag in the top, then right underneath the seam in the armpit. But make sure it's right in the seam.
Well, why don't I want to attach it right in the front where people can see it?
If you attach it anywhere other than the seam or the tag, you're going to have a hole, and nobody wants to get their clothing home and have a big hole in it.
Good
as
point.
You wash them. Yeah, those open up. So.
What if I have shorts or pants? What do I do?
So actually, pants get very heavy on the hanger at the sale. So one of the things you might want to consider is doing zip ties. Here we've zip tied right through the belt loops. And if you are going to use safety pins, they are a great option. Just make sure you have the really big, heavy-duty ones. Those little ones.
Not the cheapy ones.
The cheapy ones, they open up, your clothes fall on the floor, and it just doesn't keep it nice. The other trick to pants is, do you notice that I have this on the top bar here? That will keep your garment from sliding around. If you do it on the bottom, it just slides and it doesn't hang very nicely. Yeah. So.
All right.
And then if you have something like a skirt, this one obviously doesn't have belt loops to do zip ties with. Again, we've used nice safety pins through it. And if you notice, this hanger actually has the paper still from the dry cleaners. This one won't slide at all. So that's another great option if you can get a hold of some of those hangers.
All right. What if I want to sell a shirt and a pants together?
Again, you're going to hang your shirt on the hanger just like we did at the beginning, and we have our tag attached to it. The pants then for this little outfit are just safety pinned to the back, and then that would count as one item. If you're going to do two shirts, flip the shirt around so that it shows, and you have kind of the front of both shirts, again, safety pinned to one hanger.
What about blankets?
Blankets. The best way to hang any linens, blankets, sheets, towels is, again, put it right over the bottom part this time of your hanger, and safety pin the sides. That will keep your item from falling onto the floor. And hanging is really the best way to hang any linens. Towels, blankets, sheets. Obviously, if you have big bedding sets, those will need to go in a bag. But anything that you can hang show really nicely on hanger.
Great, thanks.
Kristen, tell me your best advice for puzzles.
Okay.
How to secure puzzles.
So we don't want to lose all the pieces of the puzzle. So the best way to do that is wrap your puzzle in saran wrap and secure it with tape. So I'll just show you how to do that on this wooden puzzle. And it doesn't matter if it's the puzzles with, the pieces that poke up or whatever. Just put a couple of layers of saran wrap on it. Tear it off. And then I put several pieces of tape around it to secure it even further so that none of the pieces fall out. Great. Yeah. It's clear tape so you can put as much of it on as you want and you can still see through the puzzle. And then attach the tag with more tape on the back. So what's the best way to tag your books?
Books, the little tricky part is they have a barcode on them already. And if that is the case, take your tag and kind of cover it, because when we go to scan them, sometimes it picks up the wrong barcode. And then this is the one instance where you don't want to use packing tape. Scotch tape will work great if you want to Scotch tape it, or you can even use the blue painter's tape to put your tags on. Blue painter's tape also works really well if you have multiple books that you want to sell together. You can't rubber band these, they're going to come apart. You don't want to packing tape them because it'll rip the covers. So painter's tape is your best option. So Kristen, shoes always seem to be an issue. How do you put shoes together so they don't separate during the sale?
Sure, there's several different ways you can do it, but the way we recommend the most is zip ties. So take these tennis shoes. I have knotted the laces together to ensure they stay together, but I also am going to use a zip tie to really make sure they don't come off. So I'm going to take my tag, and I'm going to, what we call, laminate the tag. I'm going to take a piece of tape, put it over my tag, and that way it won't get ripped off as easily. I'm going to punch a hole, and then I'm going to put it on my zip tie before I attach it, and then my shoes are now firmly attached. The tag won't come off and the shoes won't come apart. So here's another example, little water shoes with a zip tie through the tag. You can also use curling ribbon. I've just knotted curling ribbon around these flip-flops and they are securely attached. Loop pins are another way. If you have any loop pins, they're like zip ties but a little thinner. And on these shoes, I've used a zip tie to, there's a tiny loop on each side of the shoes, and I've attached them together with a zip tie.
So what about slippers or dress shoes, something where there's no place, no hole to put that zip tie?
There are shoes that don't have a place to put them. For example, these slippers have no loops, no nothing. I could attach them with a safety pin, that's possible, but what we prefer is to use a zip tie, the tagging gun. So take your tagging gun, I just poke it through the fabric, poke it through the other shoe, and voila, they're now attached. And I've also used the tagging gun to attach it in the fabric of this shoe. Now here's some fancier dress shoes that I don't want to poke a hole through. So what I've done is I've just used a zip tie and I've tied it tight so that neither shoe can come apart. And those are securely attached together.
Great. So I read that you're not supposed to put your shoes in bags. What's up with that?
Well, shoppers like to try the shoes on their kids. So they take them out of the bags, the bag goes one way, the shoes go the other, and the shopper never puts them back together. So we're not going to be able to sell the shoes if they've lost the tag. So that's why we recommend not to put your shoes in a bag. So Stacy, how do I tag toys that have multiple pieces?
Great. Couple of options for you. One is the famous Ziploc bag, and again, put all your items in there. Close the top, and then what you want to do is you actually want to tape over this opening because, again, you don't want your little pieces to be separated from your bag and your tag and lost. And then you would go ahead and take your tag and attach it.
On the outside of the bag or the inside?
Always on the outside. Always on the outside. And a couple pieces of tape there to keep it down for scanning would be great. Another option, save these linen bags. If you ever buy sheets or pillows, they come in these great little zipper bags. I have filled these with Legos before, all kinds of things. Here we have a couple Barbies. And with this, what you want to do is just put a little bit of tape over the zipper so that, again, it can be opened and your items lost from their tag. Okay, tag on the outside of the bag. And another option, this we have a pretzel container with some little toys in it. Again, you want to tape the top so that, again, nothing gets opened and your tag would go on the outside.
Great, thanks.
If you need more information on how to tag your items, refer back to the consignor instructions that were emailed to you right after registration.
Thanks for watching. Happy tagging.